Picture a house covered in solar panels on a bright afternoon. The family inside is barely using electricity because they're at work or school, yet the panels are still producing power non-stop under the sun. So where does all that extra electricity go? It doesn't just disappear. In many places, it flows back into the power grid and the homeowner receives credits for it. It has quietly become one of the biggest reasons rooftop solar has grown around the world. So what exactly is net metering, and why does it matter so much to the future of energy? Despite how common the term has become, many people still don't fully understand what net metering actually is, how utilities calculate those credits, or why the policy has become so controversial in some areas. So let's get into it, right here, on History of Simple Things. Net metering is a billing system designed for homes or businesses that generate their own electricity, usually through solar panels. When those panels produce more electricity than the property needs at a given moment, the extra power is sent back into the utility grid. Instead of wasting that energy, the utility company records it and gives the customer credits on their electric bill. Later, when the solar panels are not producing enough electricity, such as at night or during cloudy weather, the customer can pull power from the grid and use those credits to offset the cost. In simple terms, net metering allows people to trade electricity with the grid rather than relying entirely on batteries for storage. According to multiple energy and utility sources, the concept is often described as making the electric meter spin backward, although modern systems now use digital smart meters instead of mechanical ones. To understand how net metering works, it helps to imagine the power grid as a giant shared energy network. During the middle of the day, solar panels usually generate their highest output. If a home only needs part of that electricity, the excess automatically travels through the same power lines connected to the neighborhood grid. A bi-directional meter tracks both the electricity flowing into the home and the electricity flowing out. At the end of the billing cycle, the utility calculates the difference between what the customer consumed and what they exported. If the home used more electricity than it produced, the customer pays the remaining balance. If the system generated more electricity than the home consumed, the extra credits may roll over to future bills depending on local policies. Some utilities even perform an annual true-up, where remaining credits are either paid out, reset, or carried forward. One reason net metering became popular is that it makes rooftop solar financially practical for ordinary homeowners. Solar panels generate electricity mostly during daylight hours, but people still need electricity after sunset. Without net metering, homeowners would either need expensive battery systems or would lose the value of unused daytime energy. Net metering effectively turns the grid itself into a kind of shared battery. Excess daytime production earns credits, and those credits help cover nighttime usage later. Energy experts often describe this arrangement as one of the strongest incentives for residential solar adoption, because it shortens the time it takes for homeowners to recover the cost of installing solar panels. However, not all net metering systems work the same way. Some utilities offer what's called true or full retail net metering, where exported electricity is credited at the same rate customers pay when buying electricity from the grid. Other utilities use systems called net billing or avoided cost compensation, where exported electricity is worth less than retail electricity prices. That difference can dramatically affect how much money solar owners save. In some places, utilities argue that paying full retail rates is unfair because solar customers still rely on grid infrastructure maintained by all ratepayers. Critics of reduced compensation, however, say lowering credits discourages clean energy adoption and weakens the financial value of rooftop solar. Net metering policies also vary significantly depending on the country, state, or utility provider. In the Philippines, for example, net metering is supported under the Renewable Energy Act of 2008, allowing qualified consumers with renewable systems up to 100 kilowatts to export excess electricity to the grid in exchange for credits on their electric bills. Similar systems exist across many parts of the United States. Some areas allow unused credits to roll over indefinitely, while others reset credits annually. Certain utilities may also charge fixed grid fees, even if a homeowner produces most of their own electricity. Because of these differences, two homes with nearly identical solar systems could experience very different savings, depending entirely on local regulations. As renewable energy technology evolves, net metering itself is also changing. More homeowners are now combining solar systems with battery storage, reducing their dependence on the grid even further. Utilities are also experimenting with time-of-use pricing, where electricity has different values depending on the hour of the day. In the future, some energy experts believe traditional net metering could gradually shift toward more complex systems that reward homeowners for exporting electricity during periods of high demand rather than simply tracking total energy exchanged. At the same time, virtual net metering and community solar programs are expanding access to renewable energy for renters and people without suitable rooftops. Net metering is ultimately about more than saving money on electricity. It represents a shift in how people interact with energy itself. For decades, electricity only flowed one way, from power plants to consumers. But with solar panels and net metering, ordinary homes can now contribute power back to the grid. That change may seem small, yet it reflects a future where energy becomes more personal, decentralized, and shared. And in many ways, net metering is one of the clearest signs that people are no longer just consumers of electricity, but participants in how it's created. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.